Hello everybody and welcome back to another Marvel Crisis Protocol reveal breakdown. Just as I was saying, we haven't had very many of these lately. They go ahead and they drop two in a row on us. Today we have from panel to play Ronin. And yeah, I'm super excited about this one. Obviously, as many of you guys know, I'm a big Avengers player, so very much excited for more Avengers characters coming around here. And yeah, I'm just going to apologize real quick. I am getting to this one just a little bit later than I usually do. This one actually came out yesterday at time of upload. Usually I try to get them the same day, but I just ended up being super busy yesterday and I was at work when it dropped, so didn't line up. But we're here now. We're going to go ahead and break down what's going on with Ronin. So first of all, pretty cool model here. Definitely excited to get this one and paint him up. I think he's going to be a lot of fun. But what we're all here for is, of course, the stats. Alrighty, so taking a look at the stat card here, he's coming in as a 4 threat. Not really surprising there. That's kind of what I expected them to do with Hawkeye being a 3 threat. I could have seen them go in that direction as well, but I think 4 made sense here. He's going to be 4-3-3 defensively with 6 stamina, is a size 2 and a medium mover, and it looks like he's probably on a small base there. I wouldn't really expect anything bigger than that. So nothing too crazy here so far, but let's get into his attacks and things like that. So the first one we have here is Shadow Strike. This is a range 2 5 dice physical attack. It's going to gain you power based on the damage that you deal, and it's got a Wild Pierce and a Wild Bleed on there. So yeah, that's not bad as far as builders go, a little bit short range, but otherwise, I mean, the Wild Pierce and the Wild Bleed means this does hit pretty well for a 4. That's certainly a fine attack. Nothing too crazy yet. Then we have the Hawk's Blades. This is another zero-cost attack. It's a range 4 4-dice gainer. I love when they do the builder and the gainer, give you some options there. It's got a hit pursuit trigger, pretty consistent there, and advancing towards the defender small. So yeah, those are certainly nice. And once again, you got a chance for that Wild Bleed there. Gives him some nice synergy, I guess, if you want to throw him on any of those bleed-style teams. He's got a couple ways of throwing that out. But it's also just a nice condition to kind of be like, hey, you're taking extra damage and you have to deal with that. So yeah, not bad at all. Really, the main thing with this a lot of the time is going to be you want to attack and move in the same action, so you can kind of take advantage of that. Next up here, we move on to his Spender, the Cutting Wind. This is a beam 3 6 dice physical attack. It's going to be costing him a 4 power. After all attacks generated by this attack are resolved, place this character within one of the last character targeted by this attack. So kind of like the Logan beam there. He's going to beam a bunch of characters and then he's going to place himself off the last one. And then he's got a Wild Pierce on here. So yeah, that's pretty solid on a beam. 6 dice beam with a Pierce feels a little overcosted at 4. I could have seen this being 3, but I think it's probably fine. His power generation probably going to be all right, so I think it's going to be mostly fine. But yeah, it's definitely, in my opinion, slightly overcosted. I think this either could have been a 7 dicer or it could have went down to a 3 cost attack, but overall I think it's fine. Next, we move on to his superpowers. He's got the Grappling Hook as his active superpower. This is coming right off of Hawkeye's card, I believe. Place this character within range 3 of its current position once per turn, and it's a 2 cost. This is also basically just a web swing, and yeah, I mean, turns out web swings are really good, so yeah, that's great mobility. Doesn't take an action, and because he's an Avenger, you know, it's going to be pretty easy to squeeze him in under something like Steve 1, so being able to place first turn like that, or even just walk up, use the Hawk's Blades, your range 4 attack, even if you don't get the pursuit, hey, you've got enough power to grappling hook where you want to be now. So you definitely have some options with him there. And yeah, I think that helps a lot. Actually, he could be like some weird, almost pseudo safe grab. He could like Hawk's Blade to pursuit to a middle point, pick up or interact with an objective, and then grappling hook away to like a safer point. Not going to come up very often because it would be, you know, you have to have a target for that, which means they're already there, but kind of an interesting combo, I guess. Next up, we have the Spectre of Death. This is a reactive. When this character targets a character with an attack, this character may use the superpower. It's going to cost him 2. During the modified dice step, this character may change one of its attack dice to a hit for each crit or wild in its attack roll. So basically, Warrior of Legend. And yeah, turns out Warrior of Legend is a good superpower. It's a little awkward just because, you know, obviously you have to pay before you see if you get those results. So you could pay the 2 power and then end up getting nothing for it. But if you end up with a half-decent roll, it definitely helps the average of your attack quite a bit. It's going to make those builders potentially hit really hard, and if you use it on the beam, you do have to do it on the individual parts of the beam, but still, those can potentially hit really hard as well. Could also be good for increasing the odds on your pursuit trigger, just on the Hawk's Blades, because you can use it from range 4. There's no range restriction here as far as I can tell. So, you know, if you get a crit or wild, hey, you've got that pursuit trigger now as well, and you refunded a power from it, so that's not too bad. So yeah, I think there's a few cases where this is pretty good, but yeah, turns out this is a good superpower. It's just a little bit on the dicier side. Next, we get into his defensive tech here. That is Martial Artist. When this character is defending against a physical or energy attack targeting it from within 2, this character adds blanks in its defense roll to its total successes. We've seen this before. It's a good superpower, but it is something that's relatively easy to play around. A little bit harder to play around in Ronin's case because he also has the stealth superpower, so anything outside of range 3 won't be able to hit him. So there's kind of a little window there where you want to be if you're punching into a Ronin, and that definitely gives him a few more options. And between the pursuit and the place off of his spender and the grappling hook, he's going to be pretty good at saying he's within that range 2 or outside of that range 3 pretty often, leading to kind of either effectively a stagger or your opponent's just not going to get very many good attacks if their goal is to try and take out Ronin. So yeah, that feels pretty solid. I think the pairing of those for defensive tech is nice. Still something your opponent can definitely get around, especially if they have mobility of their own and they can attack you at range 3, but still, it kind of forces them to play a certain way into them, which is still beneficial. Scrolling down slightly more here, it looks like we also have the flip side of his card, and as far as I can tell with this one, nothing's changed. He's still got 6 stamina, 5, 4, 6 for all of his attacks, and it looks like the superpowers have changed or have stayed the same. So nothing really changes here, which I think is good. I was a little worried they were going to make him a 6-5, but I think 6-6 works better here. His defensive tech is solid, but it's nothing too crazy, so he really doesn't need any less HP there. And yeah, I mean, I think that's fine. I don't think anything really needed to change on his flip side here. And scroll down a little bit more, it does look like they've given us a tactics card for him as well. Extreme Measures. This is an unaffiliated reactive card, so if you are splashing him around, you still have access to this. At the start of his activation, an allied Ronin may spend 3 power to play this card. This activation, Ronin's Shadow Strike attack, this being his basic kind of builder here, gains the following special rule. This is a Wild Flurry, so he gets to make another Shadow Strike attack. Doesn't have to target the same character, could target someone else, could target the same, it's up to you. And yeah, that's definitely pretty solid. Of course, you need to hit that wild. That is on a 5 dice attack there. But yeah, I mean, if you get it, that certainly helps. And suddenly it starts paying for itself pretty quickly if you get it off of 2 attacks that round. So that's pretty good. And then you also have this other thing here. This activation, Ronin's the Hawk's Blades gain the following special rule. A hit rapid fire. After the attack is resolved, this character may make another Hawk's Blades attack. Additional attack must target the original target character and doesn't have the rapid fire special rule. So again, just giving him ways to output potentially 4 attacks in a turn is pretty solid, especially with the Hawk's Blades having that pursuit trigger on the hit that's also your rapid fire trigger. You can potentially get 4 pursuits in a turn off of that, which is pretty good, and it definitely opens me up to maybe playing him under Steve 3. I already mentioned him under Steve 1 with the grappling hook, and, you know, Spectre of Death also being cheaper, which I neglected to mention. But Steve 3, helping him get those wilds, definitely something he really wants to be getting. I mean, he's got the Pierce already on his Shadow Strike, but now if you've also got a Flurry tacked onto there, you really want the consistency in landing those wild triggers. So yeah, I think running him under Steve 3 is probably the best place to run his card, at least. Meanwhile, Steve 1, if you don't want to run his card, I think is a really solid place for him. And I also really like the idea of him under Daredevil for kind of the same reason, because he is going to be Avengers Defenders. I believe we've confirmed that. So running him under Daredevil, I think, is going to be pretty solid for him as well. Just being able to give him a little bit of extra consistency. He's going to be able to get himself right into the middle of models with that grappling hook, the pursuit, and the cutting wind there. So he's going to have no problem getting, you know, full advantage of the Daredevil rerolls. Really feels like a model that would have appreciated the days of having EMAPs. He wants to be in the thick of things. He wants to be fighting a couple models at a time. So I do think there's going to be kind of that side of things, of the way the game plays now might be slightly too spread out for him, but he has the mobility to kind of make it where he needs to go. So I think he could still end up being really solid. So yeah, overall, I really like Ronin here. I think Ronin is pretty cool. I mean, I was going to be excited about him either way, just because I do really like the character, and I think the model looks sick. But no, I think they did a good job. They did him justice here. He's a little bit more on the kind of straightforward side, but I do like his card. I think it's pretty cool, and I think Spectre of Death is obviously a really nice ability to give him. So yeah, I'm definitely a fan of this model. He kind of feels like a bit of a return to form. He feels like a model I could very easily have seen a similar design for him come out a few years ago, and I'm okay with that because I really liked that kind of style of character designs. So yeah, I definitely think that's a cool thing for him. I do think he makes sense with both the Avengers and Defenders. I think there are places where he's going to be solid. Of course, the one kind of elephant in the room with that is that Shang-Chi does exist, and unfortunately, I think Shang-Chi kind of does pretty much everything he does, but better, so competing for that 4 threat slot is going to be a bit of a problem for him. It does have me a little worried about how much he's actually going to hit the table, but I do think on his own, just kind of going off of his own value and not looking at the other things in his affiliation he's competing with, I do think he's a solid model, and he can definitely see play if you're, trying not to run Shang-Chi or anything else kind of along those lines. But yeah, I do think he's a really solid model, and I'm definitely excited to put him on the table myself. But that is going to do it for my breakdown of Ronin here. This one, they just revealed one character. We didn't get a bunch of others like we did with the last one, so I'm assuming we're going to be seeing the rest of this box in the near future. Definitely excited to break those ones down as they come out as well. But let me know what you guys think of Ronin here. Do you guys like him? Do you guys think he's too strong, too weak? Always curious to hear what you guys think. And you guys think I'm right about the Shang-Chi thing? Is Shang-Chi's existence going to make it so Ronin doesn't see that much play? Or do you think he's still going to be good maybe with Shang-Chi, or maybe even instead of him sometimes? Definitely curious to hear what you guys think. But for now, that's going to be it for my thoughts on this character. So until next time, have a great day, everybody. Peace.